Good morning. My name is Mark Owen. I'm the founder and CEO of Puralytics, and we're an investor-backed company that makes water treatment products, and we've developed a new product we call the LilyPad, which floats on ponds and pre-treats the water for use on farms. So about 10 years ago, I was in Japan, and I came across self-cleaning building. And I started thinking about what you could do with sunlight-activated coatings. And so maybe we could purify water with it. What we did is we developed a nanotechnology-coated mesh that is in the water, and when it's activated by light, either by LEDs or by sunlight, it can actually break apart contaminants and disinfect the water all the way down to the molecular level. We first applied this to a product we call the Solar Bag, and it's a drinking water product that has now been deployed in about 60 countries over the last 5 years. So it's a personal water purifier, and it will take out all the germs and also all the chemical contaminants and heavy metals in water. So what we found as we were deploying this in different places in the world is that most of the time the water that the people were using was quite polluted. So the ponds that they were getting their water from was polluted by farm animals, by farm runoff, and by other chemical and petrochemical type contaminants. And so we started thinking about the contamination of the crops and the contamination to the animals that were also sharing this. So what we decided and started thinking about is that most of the time the whole farm is dependent on these polluted water sources, and that if we could just treat the pond and make it safe, we could make the crops safer, the people healthier, and the animals healthier, and ultimately we're all dependent on these food sources, so it really would affect the whole world. So that is our hope for the future. And what we realized that we can't do this alone, so we need to work with these farmers who are working with corporate partners, and we need to roll this out through governments and NGOs, and we need to build on the infrastructure that we've already started with our drinking water products. Our vision is to improve water quality by really treating the source water at the farm level. And by doing this, we will provide food safety by reducing crop contamination risk. We'll also improve the lives of farmers and their animals by putting a tool in the small plot farmers' hands to treat the water in their ponds. We can improve everything that is dependent on this water: people, animals, and food that are downstream. So by floating these lily pads in a contaminated water source, we slowly degrade the contaminants in the water and can both detoxify the water of chemical contaminants, and we can also kill pathogens like E. coli or Salmonella that can put crops, people, and animals at risk. So 1 meter squared of lily pad will treat 1 cubic meter of water in 1 day. And we need about 1% of the farmed area to treat enough water for the entire farm. We can also we can enable a more efficient irrigation methods and get about an 80% reduction in water waste by these methods. So as a result, crop risk will decrease, profits will increase, and animal and people health will increase. Typically, farmers in the developing world are working on small plot farms that are about 5 hectares or less, and they're growing fruit and vegetables, grains or spice crops, and taking them to market, which might end up in a corporation and brought around the world. And they're using polluted water sources that are putting their crops and their families and their workers at risk. The same water that's used for the crops is used for the workers, for the livestock, and for the families. To prevent the polluted water from getting on the fruit, farmers often use flood irrigation. So this keeps the water from splashing up and getting Salmonella or E. coli on the fruit. And this is a very inefficient way to irrigate. So by switching and treating the water, we're able to use more efficient methods and switch to spray or drip irrigation with a significant reduction in water use. This also means that there's better water is available on site for the workers, for the animals, and for the farmers. So our project is working in Mexico, and Mexico provides about 1/2 of all the berries that are shipped to the United States of America. So they're supplied by a berry cooperative that uses about 7,000 small plot farmers. Often the entire crop is lost or at risk because of a single farmer's E. coli or Salmonella scare. And most of them are dependent on some sort of polluted water source. Driscoll's, who's the largest supplier to the United States of these berries, is our partner in this project, and they can mandate improved farming methods to these farmers. So in year 1 of our project, we're working with Driscoll's Berry Farms on a small farm in Mexico. We're doing a pilot test at scale on this farm, and we're going to expand that to about 3 farms in the first year of the project. Over the next year, we're expanding that to about 100 farms and over 1,000 hectares within the whole Anna Berries cooperative, of which Driscoll's is the largest partner. And then in year 3, we're expanding beyond berries and beyond Mexico to other partners and other crops in other regions. Specifically, right now we're starting our first pilot, and we've got a site selected for a second pilot with Driscoll's Berry Farms, and we're hoping to get 3 installed by the end of the year. And then we're working to sign distribution partners throughout the Latin America area. We've got 2 signed in Mexico already that are working on this project with us. We'll expand within, as we get some pilot test results, we'll expand within the Anna Berries Food Cooperative. We're going to hire a Puralytics regional sales manager who will manage some of these projects and some of our drinking water projects in Mexico later this year. And then we hope to roll this out to other crops and in other regions. So our tasks before us right now are to complete this pilot in Mexico on a Driscoll's Berry Farm this year, get our second round of SWIFT funding that allows us to scale this up further, sign partners throughout Latin America over the next year. We can produce our nanotechnology coated mesh today at sufficient volumes, but as we grow this, we're going to need additional production capacity, and so that's also in our plans. And then we want to expand this throughout other crops and in other regions of the world. We're also working with our partner here in the UAE named Waira, and they're working on a project that's sort of related. Here we have a solar-powered water treatment plant, sort of an oasis that's in a desert area here in the Middle East. And it's a place where people can come and get fresh drinking water. At that site, they'll have a pond, and in the pond will be floating lily pads that will keep the water clean for farm animals to use as drinking water. And you can see they've got some solar bags that are available for farmers to pick up while they're there. As we develop this innovation, we're going to need your help. We need to partner with corporate partners who are using small plot farmers to develop their crops. And we need other crops and other regions. So if you have a pilot that you would like to do with tea farming or vegetable farming in another region, please talk to me. We're also looking for distribution channel partners in farming regions, people who are on the ground. And it could be a government or an NGO that's working in that area. And we also are going to need help of influencers like universities and certifying agencies in those areas. And third, we can always use investors. We're an investment-backed company, and we're looking for people particularly who value the impact that we can provide into the developing world. Thank you especially to the Securing Water for Food founding partners. I think this is an excellent program, and I really appreciate what they've done to bring this together. Thank you.